Good evening. I know that it is late night California time and even later New York. It is morning in Bali. It's 8 a.m. I'm on the beach here for the next couple days. And hello, if you're joining, just say hi and where you're joining from. I see Kareen has joined us. Hi, Kareen. And what you're drinking. I finally got some coffee, so I've been trying to cut my coffee addiction. It's not working. So just say hey, let me know where you're joining from. Yesterday, so just to give you some context about where we are, this is a 5-day challenge of Untamed and Unapologetic. And we're diving into the 5 archetypes that hold us back as women. So these are the 5 things that we do inside of ourselves that hold us back from the full expression of who we are and what our power is. So it's not like tactical or nitty-gritty. It's more like the foundation of what it means to be an empowered woman. So that's what we're diving into. And really the goal of this is to help us have more freedom, more self-expression, more pleasure, more passion, more power. Because these things, these 5 archetypes that block us, they block us from our natural exuberance for life, our natural passion and pleasure. So, and I'm going to give people just a minute because I know there's some more people joining in on the challenge. But if you're watching, just say, hey, let me know where you're watching from. This is mine. And I'm curious too, and you don't have to chat this one, but just think about for yourself, what is your intention for doing this challenge? Like, what would be a success for you in this challenge? And I want to acknowledge that you just spending the time to be here, to watch this and to focus on your growth like this is a big deal. Like, it takes a lot of courage to carve out time for yourself like this. So one other thing I want to say is it's really easy to get distracted. So it's so tempting to also be like, oh, let's text someone or let's send some emails but my request is that you give this your full focus and your full commitment because you're worth it. Because you diving in and exploring all of these parts of you matter. So, and the easiest thing to do is to kind of multitask and not get anything from it. So my request is full focus, full presence, here, listening. Okay, good. And if you're watching this on the replay, just hashtag replay, and then I'll respond to all your comments afterwards. All right, I think we are going to dive in. So yesterday, we talked about the people pleaser. These are all the little spots where we felt something, we had a feeling, a truth, emotion, and we didn't say it to try to protect someone else in front of us. And it's people pleasing is anytime we decide to make someone else's experience more important than our own. So we talked about that in the last video. And then the way to get it out of people pleasing is to feel what it feels like in our body when we're people pleasing, so that we have a physical marker that will give us let's take a break and pause and notice our people pleasing. So that was yesterday. Today we are talking about the resentful martyr. Woo! So I would love to, so I think the thing that is so interesting about the resentful martyr is it comes from a really good place. So there's this belief that a lot of people have, a lot of women, me included, is like, my value comes from what I can do for other people or what I can give to other people. It's like this natural urge to nurture or produce or give or share ourselves with others, the world, our jobs, whatever. It becomes a problem when there's no off switch. When the giving and the giving and the giving has no off button, and then the woman is left dry, depleted, and exhausted. If you've ever, some signs that you might be in this one is complaining about how busy you are. It's so funny. I know in our society we kind of have it as a point of pride, oh, I'm so busy. I must be very important. But to me, I think it, well, we'll go deeper into it, but I would say that's one sign of a resentful martyr. Another one is serving something with kind of like a backhanded "you're welcome," like "here's your coffee," or feeling superior. So the resentful martyr, one of the things that this archetype is really good at is feeling superior, like, I'm the hardest worker, or I'm the most generous mom, or I give way more than other people do. So that's one of the markers, is like this feeling of like superiority. In some way, I'm doing more or being better than other people. Another one is feeling like you want to punish someone or teach them a lesson. It's a sign of that you might have let some resentful martyr archetype pop up. Or feeling like you want to push everyone and everything away. Like, oh, I would feel better if I could just be in a room by myself, away from all these people that are driving me mad. So let me know in the comments when you're watching this if you can relate to any of those. I definitely can. I have definitely done all of those. So yes, let me know. And I'll give you an example. So when I was a leadership consultant, I was about 9 months into my job, and I had been like full force. I was like, I'm going to work late nights, and I'm going to work the weekends, and I'm going to like be the best on all these projects. And then at some point I was like, oh, I hate my job. And I was like, why? Why would I hate my job? Oh, hi, Eve. Welcome. Let me know where you're joining in from, how you feel. And at some point I was like, why do I hate my job? And then I realized, I was like, oh, I don't hate my job, actually. It's actually just that I want my weekends back. Like, I want free time this weekend. I don't want to work. I don't want to work late nights. And it was my resentment towards my job, or my like anger about it, was a really good marker for me that it was time to pause and turn the attention inward and be like, what do I want? So that is, yeah, let me know if you can relate to that. Like, have you ever had a situation where you're like, oh, hi, Ariadna. Let me know if you can relate, if you've had a situation where you are like giving and giving and giving, or working and working and working, and then at some point you're like exhausted, depleted, resentful, angry, frustrated, annoyed, one of those. Just chat like a yep, can feel you, or an emoji or something. And the thing that I want to say to this is, like, there is no shame in the resentment. Hi, Celia. The thing I want to say is there's no shame in the resentment. Like, if you are in that spot where you're like, oh, I feel so resentful about this thing, that's totally natural and normal and okay, and it's not a problem, and you don't have to feel embarrassed that you feel resentful. But the thing I would say is, like, resentment is the smoke on the fire of your desire. So I know that when I start to get resentful about something, the resentment is the smoke, and underneath there's a desire. And so in that spot, it's my job to go below the resentment to figure out what was it that I wanted that I'm not experiencing that I can help give myself. Okay, I'm going to pause. And for those of you just joining, I'd love to hear, what is your intention for listening to this Day 2 Untamed, Unapologetic challenge? Like, what do you want to get out of it? So we're just talking about, if you are feeling resentful, like you're in that resentful martyr place, it's okay. And the thing that I would say there is, like, let yourself feel the resentment fully. The resentment, the anger, the frustration, the annoyance, the superiority, like, all of that has a purpose, because it's a wake-up sign that something else needs to change. So, like, let ourselves feel it fully would be my point. Aw. Celia says, my intention to support my sisters. Awesome. Yeah. This one's really important to me, because I think a lot of our conditioning as women has been to just give and give until we're depleted and exhausted and we have nothing left. And then we feel like victims of the world. Like it is the world's fault that we feel like this. And the biggest thing about the resentful martyr archetype, which lives in all of us, is that she forgot she had a choice. That archetype forgot that she had a choice in how her life is unfolding. And back to the story of when I was a leadership consultant, I didn't realize I was like working nights and weekends, and it was my first, and I was trying so much to give, and I thought that was what a good employee would do, is just like work and work and work. And then I started with bosses, and I was like, why are they making me work, or why are they making me do this? And I had to stop and be like, yo, nobody is making me do this. I am making me do this. I am making me do this. Celia says, I love my resentments. It's where the juicy juice is. It's so true. It's so true. There's like a lot of fuel in there. It's like if you're resentful about something, it's like, ooh, as much resentment as you have is probably as much desire as is locked inside there. Just one other example is I was coaching this woman who's a mother of two, and she was like taking care of the kids and like cleaning the house, and she was also the main breadwinner. And she looked at her husband and she was just like, I do not like you. And then she started withholding her sexuality. And we dove in and it was like, okay, she's resentful. But why is she resentful? What is the desire underneath the resentment? And the desire was she wants to feel like her husband's helping her with the family. Like she wants to feel like she has a partner in the work. And so as she started to like ask for the things that she wanted, like, would you pick up the kids from daycare? Would you make sure that the kitchen's always clean? Then she wasn't resentful anymore because she's starting to get the things that she wants. So yeah, resentment happens when we forget that we have a choice. That is the big takeaway I think I want to leave. And if you're watching, let me know, like, can you relate to this? Do you have any resentments currently that are brewing inside of you? Like any spots where you're like, oh, I'm so busy. I wish someone cared as much as I did. Yeah, let me know if you're watching, if you can relate, if you have any personal stories. Yeah, it's so good. Like one of mine recently is I was just working on a team, and at one point I was like, nobody on the team is helping me. Oh, I'm all alone. I'm doing all this work all by myself. And then I just had a friend call me out, and she's like, what do you want? Like, what kind of support do you want? Like, how can the people help? And it was just such a good wake-up call for me to be like, okay, wait, I'm not a victim of this. But I was complaining. I was like, oh, I'm all alone. I'm the only one that cares. And that's like, okay, what support do I need? Like, what do I want? And so that's the thing I would say, and I think we'll probably wrap up early, but that's the thing I will say about the resentful martyr, is the way to get through it is the first one is to notice it. Be like, whoop, I'm in the resentful martyr archetype. And it happens, no shame. The second one is to feel it, like feel the resentment, the anger, the frustration, oh, I'm so annoyed at how busy I am, and oh, I'm working so much harder than everybody, or I'm giving so much more than everybody. Like, feel it. Let yourself feel it, because that is it's potent, it's power. But don't stop there. Then the next thing is to remember that you had a choice, you have a choice, and that you are making this situation happen. And then the spot below is like, what do you want? What do you want? The questions ask yourself, what do I really want? What is my body calling for? What would feel nourishing right now? What am I craving? So that is the way that you get through the resentful martyr, is see it, don't shame it. It's totally natural. It will pop up inside of every single one of us. It just does. Notice it, feel it, remember you have a choice, and then come back to what do I want. All right, I think we're pretty good on that one. If you're watching this, oh, Celia says, I love your honesty. I notice that this is often a misidentification of myself and what I want. Yes, yes, it's so true. Celia says, I love our work. I love our work too. Yeah, it's so powerful. So that is, we're coming to the end of day 2. So every day it gets better and better, and then we have 3 more days left. And at the end, I have a surprise at the end of day 5. So stay tuned for each of the days. And each day we'll go through a different archetype that holds us back as women, and explore how to dismantle it and get ourselves free there. So, yes, Celia says accepting is key. Normal or self-rejection. That is so right. Yes. If you are in Resentful Martyr, it's okay. We can accept ourselves there too, because it's normal and natural and it happens. So I love that. No more self-rejection. Ariadna says, thank you. That's great. Awesome. And then also, if this is resonating with you, just make sure, share it with a friend, with a sister, with a colleague. Invite them to join the challenge, because it is more fun when we do this in groups. And also, every woman needs to hear this kind of message. All of us get into these archetypes, and all of us need help getting out of them. So, and then the last thing is, there are worksheets for every day of this challenge that helps you take it from the theoretical of watching this video into actually applying it into your life. So if you want one of those worksheets, I will just drop it in the comments where you can get it. And yeah, I think that's it. So go out there today, notice your resentments, and ask yourself, what do I really want? All right, have a wonderful day.